hope it's still there. Is it still there? It's still there. Okay. It has since been replaced with a plaque and a scholarship. Everybody does that. Okay. We'll practice. Established by the class of 1988. You can blame them. Okay? For this purpose. This year, the students have chosen a truly outstanding young woman. She is a dedicated, intelligent, and highly motivated student. Principal Pita, would you please present the award of honor to Bao Chao Ui.
Everyone voted for her. She's so sweet that
The next award is named the Royal West Academy Bronze Award. This award is presented to the student with the third highest academic standing overall. Quite an achievement, as you can see in this wonderful class. This year's bronze winner is a very strong academic achiever, of course, and a strong militant for social justice. Anybody have any pots? I call upon Mrs. Mary Reynolds to please come forward and present the Royal West Academy Bronze Award to Jonah Deborah.
You do that. Boy? Yeah, Rana, boys can be smart too. I mean, like, I heard the name, I was like, boy? Let's take this, yeah. Screenshot it and put it in my room.
Next award, the Royal West Academy Silver Award, presented to the graduating student with the second highest academic standing.
Okay, get ready.
This year's silver medalists are highly intelligent students. That's a plural. They are both hardworking and unassuming. Mrs. Paolo Miniaci, would you please present the Royal West Academy Silver Award to Sarah Rogers and Hei Rin Ha. I will now return the podium to Mr. Pita.
This year's valedictorian is truly an outstanding student. Academically, it is no surprise that she is the top student in her class. However, it is not only her marks that set her apart. No matter what the task, she completes it diligently. According to her teachers, she is always receptive to feedback, she takes pride in her work, and is willing to put in the extra effort needed to make it even better. Her teachers describe her as intelligent, self-assured, warm, confident in her abilities, and kind-hearted. One teacher said, although some may be quick to describe her as quiet, if I think back to all the class discussions we've had over the last few years, she always contributed in a thoughtful and insightful manner. She brings up points that you wouldn't come up with firsthand, and that make you think. I've taught her for 2 years, but she's taught me a lot as well. Furthermore, she is an active member of the community. Within the RWA community, she has participated in the open house activities, the tutoring program at Elizabeth Ballantyne Elementary School, where she helped young students with their homework. She has also taken home top prizes for the science fair for 2 years in a row. Outside of school, she practices karate and is a certified lifeguard. She volunteers her time at the Stepping Up Resource Center, helping students struggling with dyslexia. In addition to volunteering at the Resource Center, she also volunteers at the Kahnawake-Kettering Memorial Hospital, where she spends time with in-house patients and helps organize activities. This participation, as well as her academic achievements, showcase what a well-rounded student she is. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce this year's valedictorian, RWA Valedictorian. Perhaps we can do the presentation while we wait.
Congratulations, grads. Tonight is our night. Tonight we get our high school diplomas, our ticket to changing the world, as everyone tells us. 5 years ago, we first stepped into the halls of the second home we know as Royal West Academy. Our backpacks reached the backs of our knees, and we had no idea how to get to the third floor West Wing. 5 years later, here we are, finally graduating, taller, wiser, and having been on the other side of the prank. We've made friends, we've laughed, we've shed tears, we've taken risks. Through the good and the bad, though it was mostly good, we made it. We've all heard people tell us that youth is wasted on the young, but I beg to differ. Not a single moment of our time here at Royal West has been wasted. So congratulations again. We did it. But what about the times when it wasn't so good? Life these past few years wasn't just fun and games. We may be young, but we've all gone through things. Breakups, spats, the death of a loved one, failed tests, lost soccer matches, you name it. 5 years is a really long time, especially at our age. When I think back at our grade 7 selves, and at the fact that we were keeners, finally excited about being in high school, and eager to always get to class on time, obviously we're not the same people we were in grade 7. We are our every experience, every tight or broken relationship, every success, every failure. Who we are today is determined by the sequence of events in our lives, but who we become is up to us right now. The lead singer of Florence and the Machine said, "You find yourself sort of conforming to your own uniform sometimes. It's almost like a safety net. I always find myself wearing the same thing over and over again as if it's a uniform, but on stage is where the uniforms don't exist. Although we may not have always liked our gray and white uniforms, we've learned to identify ourselves with them and earn the right to call ourselves Royal West graduates. Whether we're physically wearing these uniforms or not, today on the stage or 10 years down the road, we know and will know that we are a part of Royal West. Class of 2012 in particular is special. The lines that separate the different cliques at our school are blurred and at times almost invisible, and that is not something you have at any other school. We have stood by each other since day one. We have a Facebook group dedicated to us and 3 penny war victories under our belt to prove that. Despite all of the many different things Royal West has become for us, it is still, above all, a place we come to every day to learn. But most of the things we learned weren't found in textbooks. Our time here at Royal West has taught us little things, such as avoiding the second floor West Wing traffic jam, or that you have to get to the caf at the beginning of recess if you want to get a pizza bagel before Mr. Zigby finishes them. We've also learned to laugh at our pukey stamps and accept the failures that will inevitably come our way. We've learned to embrace our fears and do something we know we're terrible at. Those of us who can't sing but still taking sound engineering class know exactly what I'm talking about. We've also learned to follow instructions, something that Mr. D taught us on the very first day of Moral Ed in grade 7. I still think it's clear that we've learned a lot academically. Pretty soon, we'll be receiving our high school diplomas, and for that, we have our teachers to thank. Always willing to give extra help, always inspiring us to effect change, always pushing us to raise the bar. I think I can honestly say that the teachers we've encountered here at Royal West will be those we remember. Despite all the deadlines we've fussed about, the all-nighters we've pulled, the mornings we've spent cramming for tests, we survived, and what we finally got out of all this is worth a lot more than what could possibly ever have been captured in a textbook. We leave Royal West a little more cultured, thanks Madame Prachard, a little smarter, and hopefully a little wiser, all thanks to our teachers. The most obvious people yet to thank are our parents. Our parents are the ones who stood by us when we took our first steps, and who stand behind us now, not only as we walk across this stage, but in the next stage of our lives. They put up with our temper tantrums when we were 4, and still relentlessly put up with our mood swings today. And our parents are the ones whom we've never really taken the time to thank. So thanks. Even though we've all already heard the overused expression that all good things come to an end, I'm still going to repeat it. As humans, we've all learned to recognize this growing sentiment of dread as something we love begins to draw to a close. The last bit of a cup of TCBY, or the last day of bio trip, or in this case, saying goodbye to our classmates as the end of our high school career looms near. As great Royal West was, these past few years won't be the best in our lives. Hopefully 10 years from now we can look back and say, sure, Royal West was great, but life afterwards was even better. What comes next? We can't be sure. Some of us probably think that we've got life all planned out. Some of us may have a faint idea of what to expect, and the rest of us openly acknowledge the fact that we haven't got a clue. But what do any of us really know? Sometimes not knowing is all there is. Sometimes we have to go in blind. Whether you have to wing a test or finally choose which CJEP to go to attend next year, I think it's safe to say that we have all had the feeling, at some point or another, of not knowing how things are going to turn out. Not knowing is the fun part. We have to trust that somehow, in some way, whether it's controlled by fate, karma, chance, a higher power, however you wish to think about it, all of our actions, our obstacles, our bumps and our bruises, are directing us to some sort of finish line that we may have never envisioned. So cut loose and take a risk. We owe it to ourselves to make the most out of what life throws our way, because after all, we only get to live once. So, yes, YOLO. So, as we've heard Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus tell us when we were kids, take chances, make mistakes, and get messy. So where does that bring us now? We are filled with all these memories. Memories that we enjoy, memories that we laugh about, and some memories that we'd simply like to forget. Just like Billy Pilgrim, here we are stuck in the amber of this moment. These past few years have sped by, and while the past and present may be set in stone, the future is not. Unlike Billy, we choose our future, but only if we choose to do something about it. Today, we alone become responsible for ourselves. We don't need a birthday to tell us when we finally transition into adulthood. Today is the day we finally become adults. It's not the diplomas we'll be getting tonight, but every single other thing in our lives, everything that makes us who we are and drives us to succeed, that is our ticket to change the world, even if by just a little. We are our tickets. While we may not necessarily achieve world peace, cure Alzheimer's, or save the polar bears, as Miss Suki would hope so, this ticket brings us a step closer to doing just that. Wherever life ends up taking us, whether we build careers, whether we become parents, whether we travel the world, we will always have this ticket. To my fellow grads, I leave you with what Gabby said best. Good luck, everybody.
Mrs. Medwin to step forward to present an additional prize to Rowan, who receives also the Governor General's Academic Medal, which is awarded to the student who has achieved the highest overall academic standing in our graduating class. Mrs. Medwin, Rowan Gaffar. All right, we're coming very near the end. I'd like to thank everyone. I'd also like to remind you, everyone, that there is a reception that will be held down in the foyer, downstairs, outside in the front and near the main entrance, with a contribution of food decorations from our Home and School Association. I will also close this ceremony in a few minutes with a blessing, but I'll remind the grads that they are to return their gowns here immediately after pictures. We'll have time to take pictures to Madame Prochard and the prefects. Staff, please return gowns to Mr. Giacomakos and Mr. Payton. All right. I'm now going to prepare a statement. I'm sorry, Ms. Margettis wasn't able to stay. Final closing comments. Graduation is a celebration of the individual you have become during all those years of study. It is a celebration of living and learning and becoming. It is a time to celebrate the knowledge that the person you have become has something unique to offer to the world, if only you have the courage to dream and the determination to make your dreams come true. May God give each of you this courage to fulfill every dream in your heart. May He, she give each of you this determination to reach every goal you pursue. And may God give each of you the wisdom to understand that the future is yours, to do with what you will. But be careful. You have the power to change the world. Use it wisely. Use it well. Good evening. Thank you. So it's time to bid you adieu. But there's food in the meantime, right? And some refreshments. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for 5 years of delight. Have a great evening. Safe home. Hope to see you downstairs. Thank you very much.